छोटे सेव मेहरा जी छा गए।
बचा लेना।
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Let me start this episode of Politically Correct with what may sound like sweeping statements, but not many would dispute them. So here I go. The BJP is on a roll. Opposition parties are on their knees. Nothing negative sticks to the government at the center because Prime Minister Narendra Modi remains Teflon. So much so that PM Modi can do something and say something else, or say something just the opposite, and the people will vote for him for both. For instance, the NDA government at the center has been extending the free food grain program, even though the pandemic is as good as over when it comes to resumption of economic activities. It costs 13,000 crore a month. Then the center has been depositing money into farmers' accounts. Yet PM Modi can say that, revenue culture is dangerous for India's development. I know the counter argument that free food grains under Garib Kalyan and Kisan Samman Nidhi are meant for the needy. Well, one can proffer the same argument in support of almost all freebies. So going by what ruling party leaders argue, what the NDA government gives for free is a necessity, but what other political parties offer are reveries. Anyway, let me give you another example. Modi's cabinet and his party are full of dynasts, but he can slam opposition parties for dynastic politics. The Prime Minister can deny Chinese army's transgressions into the Indian territory. If you recall, after Galwan clashes, he had said at an all-party meeting, nobody has intruded into our territory. Top BJP leaders can talk about surgical strikes across Pakistani occupied Kashmir and air striking against Pakistan in election campaigns. Prime Minister Modi can link Samajwadi Party's symbol cycle to terror blasts. Yet, he can slam opposition politicians for politicizing national security. And they will all duck for cover. The PM can push Control Alt and Delete buttons, and the much hyped things get erased from public memory. Demonetization, doubling farmers' income, $5 trillion economy, 100 smart cities, and so on and so forth. What I'm driving at is, Prime Minister Narendra Modi can say or do anything, but nothing negative sticks to him. Nothing said by the opposition sticks to him. Because most Indians believe that he can do no wrong and the opposition parties can say nothing right or do nothing right. Modi's colleagues in the BJP can therefore bask in the reflected glory and relax. They are probably becoming too complacent. That's the crux of this politically correct episode. What else can explain the BJP's leadership's failure to notice the emerging fault lines in the party and the seeming nonchalance about what's happening in the states? Even at the center, there is a sense of drift in organizational affairs. Let's look at the news headlines over the weekend. First was Union Minister Smriti Irani braves political storm over daughter's allegedly illegal bar. BJP leaders' response? Silence. Nothing from ministers or senior BJP leaders all through Saturday or Sunday. No official reaction from the government or the party. While her detractors had a field day on social media, the famed IT cell on the other side kept waiting to be deployed. Smriti Irani was left to fend for herself, rebutting allegations in a press conference at her residence. Sooner than later, her colleagues would have to back her. But their failure to promptly come to her defense must disappoint her. If they had some questions about her version, they could have asked her directly instead of climbing up. But that's how it is. While a couple of leaders like Tajinder Bagga and Vanitya Srinivasan, they tweeted in her defense, top BJP leaders and ministers, they stayed silent about this entire controversy. On its part, the BJP shared her rebuttal on its official Twitter handle and also shared her legal notice to Congress leaders in its official WhatsApp group. But nothing from a spokesperson's, no official reaction as such. Basically, the message is it's Smriti Irani's battle to fight. Let me come to the second news headline. News headline went like 6 minors rescued, 73 arrested from brothel, quote unquote brothel, run by Meghalaya BJP Vice President, that is Bernard R. Marak. And Marak, who is on the run, has accused NDA Chief Minister Conrad Sangma of political vendetta for using the police to raid his farmhouse. The BJP, which is a part of the Meghalaya government, chose to defend its vice president. In a statement Sunday evening, the Meghalaya BJP said that its vice president was unjustly framed and maligned. He appears to be a victim of a political vendetta, said the BJP, virtually indicting its own government. It's NPP and the BJP, it's Maharashtra Democratic Alliance. But they are talking about political vendetta by that government. By the way, interesting thing is we are talking about Marak, the BJP vice president there. I mean, in 2017, he had quit as a district BJP president after his party colleagues had objected to his plan to hold a beef festival to celebrate PM Modi's 3 years in power at the center. He had even promised to bring down beef prices if the BJP came to power in the state. Well, he has been climbing up the organizational ladder since then. It was just beside the main point. What I was driving at was the way the BJP has been reacting. It looks like, there is no organized way of responding to even allegations. Forget about sometimes defending its leaders, responding to the allegations. They just clam up often. And when they react, now to expect the BJP, to see the BJP defending its vice president despite the police version about what was happening at a farmhouse and without waiting for the investigations to be over, the party is accusing Conrad Sangma-led government of political vendetta. Anyway, let me come to the third news headline over the weekend. It was BJP made Eknath Shinde CM with a heavy heart, says Maharashtra BJP President Chandrakant Patil. Well, after all, former CM Devendra Fadnavis did not do all the hard work to bring down the Uddhav Thackeray government just to become the deputy CM. Once the High Command decided that Shinde would be the CM, Fadnavis went public, saying he would not be part of the government. You may recall it was at a press conference, and minutes later you saw JP Nadda's statement to a news agency saying that he would be part of the government, he would be the deputy CM. So Fadnavis was saying something else, Nadda said something else. Whatever happened, later on, you could say, looking at Fadnavis while he was taking oath, you could look at him and you could, sense how displeased he was, how unhappy he was. Anyway, later Fadnavis disclosed the sequence of events. He said in Nagpur that Amit Shah and JP Nadda had asked him to be part of the government. And then I'm quoting a report from Nagpur as reported by the Economic Times. It was quote unquote, as he said, that, I spoke to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and following that conversation, I decided to obey their instructions. Just read between the lines. He said that, Nadda and Amit Shah had spoken to him, asking him to become part of the government. But I decided to obey the instructions only after my conversation with the Prime Minister. Now, the PM had to persuade him to do that. So what do you have now? A reluctant Chief Minister, Uddhav Thackeray, has now been replaced by a reluctant de facto Chief Minister. In this case, Deputy CM Devendra Fadnavis. I mean, no wonder the two-member BJP Shiv Sena cabinet has been running the entire government for about a month. But if you look at this, if we are getting into this issue, there is a pattern here. Every time a leader outside the BJP High Command's core team of loyalists forms a government, he has to struggle hard for weeks before he can get his team. So when Shivraj Singh Chauhan toppled the Kamal Nath government in Madhya Pradesh in 2020, he had to wait for about 25 days before he could get a team. So it was a one-man government. In 2019, before Madhya Pradesh, in fact, 2019, when B.S. Yediyurappa had become CM, after toppling the Congress JDS government in Karnataka, he ran a one-man administration for 3 weeks before he could get a team. and then another week to finalize the allocation of the portfolios of ministers. Anyway, let me come to another headline over the weekend. So fourth headline was, day after announcing Son's candidature, Yadurappa puts ball in the BJP court. So what had happened? As we all know, he was forced to step down as the CM and then he was sidelined in the party. So on Friday, Yadurappa virtually declared his retirement from electoral politics, saying that his son Vijayendra would contest from his home turf, Shikaripura. This came in the backdrop of the BJP High Command basically rejecting Vijayendra's claim for a legislative council seat. That was in May. BSY must be apprehensive that his son may not get even the assembly ticket, and therefore he declared his candidature from Shikaripura on Friday, only to retract the next day and leave it to the BJP High Command to decide. He said that BJP High Command will decide the tickets, but that came after he had a long meeting with the Chief Minister Bommai. BSY is obviously not ready to go down without a fight. But you know what? Central BJP leadership also seems to be simply looking the other way. Now, we have just looked at 4 headlines over the weekend. Now, go back a few days. You would find that many news headlines from Uttar Pradesh. They tell a bigger story in Yogi Adityanath's state. There was a political storm when Deputy Chief Minister Brijesh Pathak wrote to the Additional Chief Secretary, Medical and Health, Amit Mohan Prasad, raising questions about the transfer of doctors. When Pathak was away, he was attending the National Executive meeting in Hyderabad. So Pathak's letter conveniently found its way to the social media. Just hours after I had written it. It was a huge embarrassment to Chief Minister Adityanath. Now, as you know, Brijesh Pathak is considered close to Amit Shah, while the ACS, Prasad, who faced Pathak's ire, he enjoys Yogi Adityanath's trust. In fact, that ACS Medical and Health, Prasad, he's part of Team 9 that meets at the Chief Minister's residence every morning to discuss the government's agenda for the day. And he would not be issuing those orders without getting clearance from the top. Then again, sticking to UP, there was this rebellion by Junior Minister for Jal Shakti, Dinesh Khatik, who also shot off a letter to Amit Shah, alleging that officials were not following his orders because he's a Dalit and he was not being given any work to do. It was actually a very indirect dig at his immediate boss, Cabinet Minister Swatantra Dev Singh, who is the Jal Shakti Minister. And he also happens to be the UP BJP chief. Again, Khatik's letter was all over the social media shortly after he had sent it to Amit Shah. Swatantra Dev Singh, by the way, his parents had named him Congress Singh until he changed his name after joining politics, after he joined RSS and then BJP. So Swatantra Dev Singh was an Amit Shah protege, but he has now grown closer to Yogi Adityanath since his induction in the government. So you can actually read between the lines and see what's happening there in UP. Because if you have such a powerful Chief Minister like Yogi Adityanath, who is being seen as a prime ministerial candidate, your ministers don't really start going against you or against your trusted lieutenants in the government. And you even go public. Something is amiss there which we are not getting. Speaking of Chauhan, Shivraj Chauhan, look at Madhya Pradesh also. His list of detractors seems to be only getting longer and longer, bigger. Uma Bharti is the latest to attack him over liquor policy. You remember she started throwing stones at liquor shops. But forget about Uma Bharti, her old rivalry with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And now she is sidelined also, so you expect her to do things which would actually, gain tracks and get the attention of the High Command. So we are talking about Uma Bharti apart. And we know how many other senior BJP leaders have been doing things there in Madhya Pradesh. But what I am talking about is, about a couple of weeks back, there is this BJP MLA, Narayan Tripathi. He actually embarrassed Chauhan government very badly. He said that government officials were working for the BJP in the civic body polls. So you see, there are constant dissensions and bickering in the BJP, not just in Madhya Pradesh or say in other states. You see that even in West Bengal, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, you name the state. And for a party that derives its electoral prowess from PM Modi, and is under direct supervision of who you call master strategist Amit Shah, I mean, the BJP is looking like a house in disorder. As it is, there are broadly two camps emerging in the ruling party. Those who enjoy the blessings of the high command and those who don't. And the trust deficit between the two is deepening. That's all from me in this episode of Politically Correct. Thanks for watching.